I'm Nathan Byrd, and this is the Byrd Academy. We're at Daytona International Speedway. We have a long day ahead of us because this time we're going to be doing a 14-hour endurance race with the World Racing League.
I'm going to grab my Hans device and all my stuff, head over to the Racer Motors MP01, do some driver change practice right there real quick, and then I'm going to be the first guy in the MP01 heading out for the race. So I think grid's at like 7:20, it's 6:45 right now, so not that much time to work with, but I think we're going to be able to get some driver change practice in still, so have a good night, guys.
This weekend I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between two different teams, Racer Motors in the MP01 and Hammer Motorsports in the M4. I have two teammates for each car, and that makes it not a me effort, it's a team effort, and we're going to have to work together in order to get the job done. There's a little bit of pressure when you go to a track that you've never raced at before, especially when you haven't raced there with two different cars you're going to have to learn the track with.
Is it running good?
I was a little bit nervous in the M4. I wasn't sure if I was going to get at the speed as quickly as I may want to. And the MP01, I ended up feeling a bit more confident because I've had more experience with the MP01. It's a little bit easier of a car to drive. It's a bit more my wheelhouse, being a Formula car sort of trained driver.
Have a good race, James.
Are you starting today?
Oh yeah, MP01.
In the other car? Okay,
Yeah,
got it. See you out there.
Thank you.
The team decided to have me start the race in the MP01. I did put down the fastest lap during practice on Friday. So come Saturday, they wanted me to start the race in the MP01.
All right, guys, we're heading to the grid right now. It's almost go time.
And Hammer Motorsports, they decided that I would start third in the M4. That way the driver lineups wouldn't conflict for both cars. I started third, and by the end of the first lap, I was in first place. Things were going well during the entire first fuel stint. I was running really competitive lap times while fuel saving. I pitted for fuel, went back out again, and by the end of our second fuel stint, a lower class GP3 car ended up making contact with my left rear and breaking the car, making it immediately undrivable. I managed to wrestle the car back down to the apron, slow it down enough so I could hobble it back into our pit, and then our crew did an amazing job. They were able to fix the left rear end of the car completely and send us back out only a few laps down. We didn't quite have the pace we did before. Our straight line speed suffered because our rear diffuser was still damaged. It was scraping the ground. And during what was going to be my final fuel stint, I ended up getting a fuel low warning on my dash, and I cleared it. I was going to come back in, and then boom, the next lap the car died on the back straight. I had to get towed all the way to our garage where they were able to get me out of the car. I was really dehydrated after that. I was able to get rehydrated, so I was back in tip-top shape.
I didn't realize how exhausted I was until I got out of the car and stood up. And I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna pass out. Like, okay, never mind. But I think my body likes sitting right now.
And about an hour and a half later, I was put into the BMW M4. I debriefed with the team, asked where we got an appraisal of where we were at in terms of the race. We ended up having made up quite a few positions on track due to good fuel strategy and good driving from my co-driver. And just as I was about to get into the car, lightning struck within the 5-mile vicinity that would cause a red flag condition to come out on the racetrack.
I guess we're going red. Lightning. Full course yellow came out. It was going to be the perfect timing to swap drivers, get fueled up on the fuel, and bada bing, bada bing, was going to go out, probably run a double stint, and then lightning struck with no rain, within 6-mile range or something like that, so everything went red, which means you can't work on the cars, you can't drive a change, you can't do anything like that until it goes back to full course yellow. So the advantages we're about to get by hitting on a full course yellow has sort of been mitigated because everyone's going to be in the same boat as us. So
every minute the red flag was out was another minute we were not racing on track, but eventually I was able to get back in the car. I restarted the race in 11th place. I ran 2 fuel stints, and at the end of my fuel stint, I come into the pits, I get refueled, and then another red flag was called. One of my crew guys was actually planning on squeegeeing my driver windshield, but my crew chief, Tim Meyer, said, go, 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 and I went because we were able to actually get out in front of the pace car in pit lane as we were all lined up during the red flag, which meant we could drive all the way around and line up behind the pace car, and that event essentially gave us a whole lap back. So it was a great strategy call from our crew chief.
Daytona protocol for lightning strikes in the area. We need to clear all personnel out of pit lane. Everybody needs to take shelter.
That whole move at the end, that was mega, yeah, I can tell. Just gained a whole lot back.
Every single time lightning strikes, it's another 30-minute delay before the red flag is lifted. It was about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours of just red flag conditions. By the time the red flag was finally lifted, there was about 3 hours left in the race.
Probably not going to go into MP1 again, if I'm honest. And it might honestly just hurt the strategy.
So this will take a couple of minutes to shake out.
But hopefully we can abandon strategy a little bit for the M4s to get me back in the car. That'd be nice.
Ultimately, that was the end of my racing for the day, but we managed to bring both cars home as much as we could. I didn't wreck any of the cars, which is always a good day for me, and I was able to get some experience in the meantime. So overall, a good weekend for both teams, 4th in the GTU and 8th in the GTO. Could have been better for both teams, suffered from different mechanical issues across the board, as most teams do during endurance races that are 14 hours long, and that's just how it is for endurance racing sometimes, and I'm happy that I was able to be a part of it. We can go through the highs and lows with both teams.
Well, I'm gonna head out.
Good job, dude. You did great. Where'd you end up in GTO?
Daytona, 2 different cars, WRL endurance round, 14-hour race. It was awesome. We had a blast, learned a lot of lessons, got a lot of seat time, and that's really all I can ask for during this great journey to 2024 Indy 500. We'll see you there.
Thanks everybody for watching episode 3 of the Byrd Academy. Stay tuned for the next episode where we race midgets and silver crowns at Indianapolis Raceway Park.